Really enjoyed researching book. One of the things I did was walk every single street in Surrey Hills and Darlinghurst and King's Cross, which is where the book takes place. Darlinghurst was dubbed Razorhurst by Truth, which is a Sydney tabloid for many years. It's probably the best tabloid in the history of tabloids. And I'll give you a little example of how over the top and deeply awesome Truth was. So this is from September 1928, and it's describing the horrors of what goes on in Darlinghurst. Razorhurst, Gunhurst, Bottlehurst, Dopehurst. It used to be Darlinghurst, one of the finest quarters of a rich and beautiful city. Today it is a plague spot, where the spawn of the gutter grow and fatten on official apathy. Isn't that fantastic? So I really enjoyed going to the library in town and sitting down with microfiche, and I read all the issues from the first 6 months of 1932, and full of like crazy alliterative headlines about, you know, magistrates mollycoddling malicious murderers and stuff like that. And so that was really, really fun. I loved going into the Justice and Police Museum in the city and looking at all those incredible mugshots and photos of crime scenes. And the quality of the photos is absolutely beautiful, and it was so evocative. But they were a really wonderful snapshot of what people's houses looked like then. So I could look and see what a kitchen looked like, and beautiful details like people creating curtains out of cut up newspapers. The evilest characters I always find the easiest to write. So I really enjoyed writing Bluey Denham, who is just evil, not very smart, vicious, kind of monomaniacal. Like, I mean, he knows what he wants, and that's what he does, and he just goes for it. But I really loved writing Gloriana Nelson, who is, she's actually based on real life characters. So she's my mashup of Tilly Devine and Kate Lee, who were real-life Sydney crime bosses at their peak in the 20s and 30s. And I got the idea of making them one character, Gloriana Nelson, because that's what Ruth Park did in Harp in the South. She created her own mashup of them. So that's my little homage to Ruth Park. But I mean, they were all, Tilly Devine and Kate Lee were just so much larger than life, and writing this woman who is just takes up so much space and has no fear and is the boss of everything was just so fun. I mean, part of me just wanted to write the whole book about her and forget everybody else. So I guess the hardest to write, I don't know. I think maybe Dymphna, just because she has such a painful past, and some of the parts of the book were very difficult to write because they're just so haunting and horrible, and I was just really upset for her. There were parts of her story that I was actually crying as I wrote it. But to put that in perspective, Qantas ads make me cry, so I'm a bit of a wuss. I also really enjoyed reading novels that were written at the time, and the novels of Kylie Tennant and Ruth Park were by far the best and really inspiring, and I ended up dedicating the book to them because their books are wonderful, and they were such an evocative picture of Surrey Hills at that time, and I wish they were still around and writing now.